Everyone, and welcome back to Football Manager 2020. We are into a new decade of this game now. You could argue it's 2019, but let's just go for 2020. And we are back with Football Manager content. And we are starting off with the traditional Newcastle save for the beta. This will only run for a couple of weeks. I'm going to try and pound through quite a few seasons though, so the gameplay will move quite quickly for you. Now, if you're wondering what's going on, I hate the purple skin. I'm going to be honest, that might be controversial, but it's just not for me. And I actually think it might be one of the reasons I wasn't as consistent with playing Football Manager last year. So what I've done is switch to the dark skin for this game. I've already got the badges loaded up, we've already got the players loaded up, so you can see the hated Granit Xhaka here, hated by his own fans. It was probably a bad player to pick to start off. But we are all ready to go, really. I probably will do a video to show you where to get your logos and kits if you're wondering. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see some kind of video like that. There'll also be videos coming up on the best player, all the usual kind of stuff, best tactics, things like that. But if there is anything you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments and drop a like if you're happy to see FM20 content back on the channel. But Newcastle, going to be quite a tough job this. We're going to see if we can do better than Steve Bruce. I think it's a low bar to try and clear, but definitely one we need to be clearing. The team itself doesn't look too bad in the game from what I could tell. They've been quite generous, giving a lot of our players more than 3 stars in their actual ability, or at least what my assistant manager thinks. I'll need to check what his ability to judge players is like. That's always a key factor. But it's encouraging he's got the right players at the top end of this list. You got Sean Longstaff there. I have a feeling I will build this club around Sean and Matty Longstaff. That's probably the goal for this quite short series, because they are very good players. They have very good potential ability, and they're very young as well. Alan Saint-Maximin, also a really good young prospect, only 22. That's 17 dribbling, 17 acceleration and 16 agility. A nice flair on him as well. He is going to be fantastic. I'm not sure if I would make him an inside forward. But both his crossing and his finishing does leave a little bit to be desired. So maybe I'd go for the inside forward. Depends if we're playing short passes into the striker. And then we've got Almiron, who we saw do quite well when he was signed last season. I'm hoping we'll be able to get a bit more out of him. He's worth quite a lot of money. How much did we sign Almiron for? The game running quite slowly there for some reason. 20 million, so that's already quite a decent profit on him. Lascelles is good. Joe Linton, the new signing, is also very good. So actually the Newcastle team, I imagine if Benitez was in charge of it, is in quite good shape. And hopefully that means that we will be able to take this team forward and do really well. Not the highest stats there, but he's only 22. He will continue to develop. And because of the philosophies of the club, which we'll come to in a minute, it does have a lot of very young players in here. I do need to add age into the little mix here, because that's always helpful to have. There we go. Let's move age in. I don't know why it always stretches it all the way out here every time, but let's just move the age to there. That looks nice. There we go. Is there something missing there? I just don't know why it does that. But yeah, 21, 22, 25, and Fabian Schär, the biggest one there, at 27. Dubravka is 30, but for a keeper that doesn't really matter. And then there's virtually no dead weight left over 30. Federico Fernandez can still do a job, and his wage isn't ridiculous. It is quite high at 43. And then down at the bottom, Rob Elliott, backup keeper to Dubravka. And we've even got Carl Darlow in there, so we could probably get Rob Elliott off the books. And then we have so few players under 30. Andy Carroll, cheap as chips at 20 grand a week. Not a bad player to pull on when you're desperate for an equaliser. But let's have a look at this club vision rather than club values. And you can see what they're trying to go for here. It's all about churning a profit while trying to appease the fan base. Play attacking football. That's how we'll get the fans on side, not by running the club effectively. And then players under 22 for the future, under 23 for the first team. Basically the same thing there. We're looking at young prospects we can bring in and then sell on. And do not sign players over 30. That's a really big one there. But you can see by the order of importance what they're looking for. Young players they can turn around. They don't really care about this one. It's 1 out of 4 on the desirability. But you can see that we've got to work within the wage budget. That one is absolutely crucial, as is finishing in mid-table. They would like to see a cup run, but it doesn't look like too long. And you can see long-term vision for the club, looking to sell the club every single year going forward. Everything else looks pretty decent. Transfer budget 20 million, wage budget 1.25. That only leaves us 35 grand of wiggle room. Essentially, in the modern Premier League, you can buy one player, youth prospect, on that type of wage for that amount of money, probably from the Championship. So we can maybe see if there's somewhere that we can raid to bring in one additional player. In terms of where I would structure it, I need to set up a tactic first. Let's just jump in for a random one. Let's go for control possession. And then choose... Yeah, that looks like a nice one. Let's just go for that. Right, if we go to the team report... why is it not loaded up? Is this some sort of... Give me the squad depth. There we go. That's what I'm after. I needed to click up here. I'm still not used to the interface just yet. But you can see Andy Carroll, Joe Linton, Dwight Gale also on the books, Muto in there. It's not bad, it's not a lot. We'll have to play with one striker. There's no way we can run with two, really. Left wing looking solid, right wing looking okay, although it's Almiron and St. Maximin across all of those. I probably will play without the central attacking midfielder, and then we can put Almiron on the left and move St. Maximin out to the right, and then we've got Atsu and Richie in support if we need to. Central midfield, the two long staffs will be filling in this place here. Shelby will probably come in off the bench. Hayden and Saive will be, and Ki Sung Young will all be rotation central midfielders. And then looking across the fence, Jetro Williams looks like a very good player. Dummett as good backup. And then Shah, Fernandez, Lascelles, Clark. It's just a solid team. We're a little bit weak at right back. That could be an area to look at. And I'm happy with the keeper situation. Overall, the bare bones of this squad, not that bad. I think we can offload a few players. That's a big squad. I wouldn't normally have that spill onto a scrolling screen like that. But everything is looking quite nice at the moment. And finances, we already know where we are there. The really cool new addition here is the Dev Centre or Development Centre. You can see Matty Longstaff, the next big piece of the puzzle for us. Box-to-box midfielder, can fill in quite a few other ways as well. They've just given him everything, and I think that's how good a player he's going to be. His stats... The thing is, there's not anything really shining out here, but what you love to see as a manager is 18 work rate. He's got 14 teamwork as well, but that work rate means that as a youth prospect, he is really going to kick on and fulfill this potential ability. But because he's quite solid across the board, I'd hope his physicals will pick up as he ages into his early 20s. But all of these are so consistent that you get to craft how they're going to turn out. So if we want to push up the more aggressive attacking technical aspects, then we can do that. But I think he's just going to be such a good box-to-box midfielder because he has got the attacking and the defensive mentalities. So I could see him really becoming a Bobby Charlton style footballer for us. He's the one I'm really excited about. Freddie Woodman will also be a great player for us. He's on loan at Swansea at the minute. I'll probably look to bring him in place of Dubravka next season. I'm not sure what tactic we're going to run with. I'm going to muck about with that while we're going through the pre-season friendlies. But overall, I'm pretty confident about our chances of not getting relegated. I know we're supposed to go for mid-table, but we'll just have to see. Now, the saddest thing for me about Newcastle this season is this kit, because I think this kit is beautiful, except for this horrific sponsor in the middle. If you could get this kit without or without at least this sponsor on the front, especially as it's a gambling company, I think that would be such a beautiful classic kit. The orange one isn't too bad either. I'm not so sure about the green one, but I quite like that kit. Unfortunately, it's been ruined. But that's probably it. Now, the way this first episode will go, we're not going to spend too long faffing about with other things. I will probably try to get to grips with the new game a little bit, run through pre-season and get to the first game of the season. Then we can have a look at the new match engine. And bear in mind, I've not paid attention to any of the releases on Twitter. I've occasionally seen them, but I've not looked at the videos or anything like that. So this will all be new to me. But I'll show you how pre-season goes, show you if I've picked up any players, and then we'll kick off the season with the first Premier League match, which will be against, if we have a look, Burnley away from home. So hopefully we can get the win that we need in that game. But if you are happy to see these videos back on this channel, then do drop a like on the video. Lets me know you want to keep this series going, and make sure to subscribe if you're new around here. There will be regular content coming up about FM 2020 in the next few weeks. Well, we are now through pre-season. If we have a look at our schedule through that time, there were actually quite a lot more friendlies already arranged than you would normally find in a Football Manager game. That was something that I noticed, at least. There's normally just 4 or 5 set up. We actually ended up playing 8 friendly matches. We started off with a 2-0 defeat to Freiburg. Then we lost 1-0 to PAOK. I have no idea how you pronounce that. I don't know if... who Ahmed Sportifar either. 2-1 win over them though, but Sean Longstaff and Joe Linton with the goals in that one. I probably would have expected to win that by a bit more. We then beat this team, which I won't try to pronounce, Joe Linton getting another goal there. We drew with Anderlecht, again Joe Linton with the goal there. We nearly beat them, but just missed out to a late equaliser. We beat Clyde 2-0. No goal for Joe Linton in that one, but Muto getting on the score sheet alongside Paul Dummett. We then beat Frosinone 2-0. Shelby and Atsu in there, and then we lost to Bayer Leverkusen. You could say it was because we went down to 9 men in the first half, but we actually didn't concede from the point of going down to 9 men, which was remarkably impressive, if you ask me. But Leon Bailey and old Solomon Kalou getting the goals for Bayer Leverkusen. We're starting off our season with a game away from home against Burnley, and then next episode we will probably kick off with the match against Liverpool, or we could actually do both today. I think we might do both today, because Burnley's a game where we can see if we're going to get out of relegation. Liverpool's a game to see how much we're about to be smashed. So that's 2 very different challenges that we could take a look at. Now, if we have a look at the transfers, there has been some transfer activity, despite the fact our transfer and wage budget hasn't changed much. Players going out, if we look at the fees here, Perez obviously already left, but Ki Sung-young was sold for 5.5 million. We actually made a profit on his current valuation there. He had 1 year left on his contract. I thought, let's get him out the door at 30 years old. Federico Fernandez as well, also 30 years old. I'm going to buy into this young club ethos. He went up to 8 million in value, so you could say we maybe lost out a little bit there. I have tried to do the name fixes thing, so I don't know why that's still showing up as Sepp. But Manquillo also gone for 5 million. We had 3 right backs, and I thought Manquillo was the weakest of the 3. He's predominantly a wing back as well, so he was sold, probably made a tiny profit out of his current valuation. Hosselu was already gone, and we also sold Saive for just 1.5 million. He's just not that good a player, and we have some good central midfielders already. In terms of the players brought in, you can see that apparently we spent 88 million, but that does include Joe Linton and St. Maximin. I think the big steal for us was picking up Eric Bailly. He was £16 million from United. I think he is a fantastic central defender. His concentration is a little bit low and he is injury prone, but I think ultimately that's not going to be the thing that kills us this season, and he is a big improvement on our current centre back. So when I saw him pop up, he was a deadline day deal, and I think 16 million a very fair value for him. Ruben Pardo, the other deadline day signing, I'd been tracking him for a few weeks, trying to get better insight on his stats, but he's another one of those players that's straight across the board, reasonably consistent. In terms of the areas that matter as a deep line playmaker, there's not really any strong weaknesses across his game, but there's 18 vision, 16 technique. If we play him as the advanced playmaker instead, I think that is going to work an absolute treat with Joe Linton, Almiron, St. Maximin and the 2 Longstaffs. I think he could be the missing piece of the puzzle for us. So he was the other player brought in for 15 million. So £31 million spent. I don't think that is too bad whatsoever. We have put them on instalments, that's the problem. I'm still looking to find some good young players. I tried to sign Haaland from Salzburg, but he was not interested in talking to me despite getting an offer accepted for him. So we haven't been able to bring him in. But let's jump into this Burnley game. It's going to be an interesting one. Burnley actually the favourites for this, which is a little bit unfortunate for us. But most of the games are already kicked off. We're the last ones to go. So as long as we don't lose by 4-0 or by 4 goals, we should stay off the bottom of the table. If we can somehow win by 5, we will be top of the league. The way we're going to line up for this is probably how I think we will line up for most of the season. You've got Dubravka in goal, and he will probably be our key keeper for the rest of the season. Kraft is out at right back. I'm not sure if I want to keep starting him at right back or bring Yedlin in when he is back from injury. Then Bailly and Lascelles certainly going to be my main centre-back pairing. They are our 2 best central defenders, and they will continue to be in that position going forward. Willem's probably going to continue on the left side as well. Paul Dummett can come in there, but I've never been a fan of Paul Dummett at any point really in his career. Then in midfield we have the dream trio. I think they could be a long-term future for the club depending on how Pardo works out. But you've got the 2 Longstaffs flanking Pardo in the centre. Almiron is out on the left as a winger. Inverted winger, sorry, and say Maximan out on the right hand side. Joe Linton straight down the centre. He's playing as a deep lying forward. I will probably change that. We do have a pressing forward there, but that doesn't really fit the tactics that we're using. I could change him to a complete forward, but we're going to see how the deep lying forward works with these players in support. We're playing on a direct counter attack, so we should be moving the ball forward quite quickly, which is why I thought Pardo's vision as an advanced playmaker would work quite well. But let's see how we do away from home against Burnley. Eric Bailly getting the nice number 4 there. And let's see if we can get our season started off in the right way. Now, I've not seen the match ending yet. I've watched absolutely nothing, and as you can tell, I've also not turned the sound down or the sound effects off for the match. And I might have got a nice background noise there. He's getting really sensitive racket. But Burnley have Barnes, Woods, Rodriguez, Drinkwater in there, Cork, Goodmanson, Lowton, Tarkowski, Mee, Taylor, and Park. Flat 4-4-2. Very old school by them. I'm just going to tell them to go out and enjoy themselves. I'm really not too fussed as to how this game goes. I know that's probably a bad thing to say against a team that we maybe should be doing against, but it doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to change I like that one. We only need the 2. Let's go for director on the replays. We will show replays on for goals and goal line technology. We have our first one here. Goodmanson knocking the ball down. Here's Tarkowski back to Lowton. I will speed up the gameplay on this highlighted over. Goodmanson back inside to Cork. We could be about to concede our first goal. It's Drinkwater back to Cork, outside of the boot, switch there to Taylor. He brings it down, puts the ball across. It's come to Goodmanson, it's pulled out on Miron. And he's away. Now Miron's got there. He's tried to release Joe Linton. He's got the ball. He's waiting for a player to make a run, and now Miron takes the ball after a poor touch from Langton. He's in our goal, Almiron. What a tackle that was by Tarkowski to deny Almiron a really good opportunity. There is another highlight here. Saint Maximan, great anticipation, stealing the ball, charging forward. He's got Joe Linton in there. The players coming into the middle as well, but gone for a goal. During highlights, let's up the speed a little bit. You can see that's probably a bit too quick. You can see here Cork outside to Langton, taking it down the right flank, back into Cork. He's in behind, finds Rodriguez, and it's over. There we go, sounds off, that's what we want. And everything else I'm pretty happy with. But 0-0 at the moment. But I'm not too worried. We've had a couple of good opportunities. Saint Maximan with the shot, Almiron denied by a brilliant recovery tackle. Rodriguez now on a yellow card. but only one shot each on goal. Drinkwater towards the back stick. Rodriguez cleared away by Kraft. Now Saint-Maximin, we can use this counter-attack. Joe Linton's beaten one defender. Oh, Saint-Maximin skips past one. He's in on goal and it's saved. Joe Linton, can he get there? He does. But he couldn't get the shot off when the goal was open, and it is cleared away to Willems. But I think we are looking like the better team here. I don't know why Kraft is apprehensive. Maybe if I shout in some encouragement that might help, but we're in half-time now. I am happy with this performance, boys. If we can come away from Burnley with a draw, I would say that's a pretty good going. Let's see if Kraft is still apprehensive after that nice little team talk. Mountain with the ball. Could there be a highlight here from half-time? Saint-Maximin has stolen the ball. He's in on goal. He's got Joe Linton there. He tried to bend it into the far corner. It wasn't far away. We might need to change his individual instructions to start offloading into Joe Linton a little bit more. But Drinkwater with a corner. Rodriguez is there. It's just wide of the post and we do escape. Now I'm just going to pause it and try and shout some encouragement. Or let's shout some praise. Let's be nice. Taylor into Drinkwater. Cook has taken it. Taylor back to Cork. Not Cook. Back outside to Taylor. Players in the box. He pulls it back to Drinkwater. Taylor again. Needs to do something with this ball. If they keep playing these silly 1-2s, I'll get annoyed. It's gone in. And now I'm even more annoyed because Goodmanson has just scored. I just shouted some praise. And of course we have gone behind. And that is really frustrating to do it in this fashion. It was those annoying 1-2s. Pulling the defender out of shape at right back. Look, they were going in, out. Nobody's staying with him. Taylor whipped it in. And Goodmanson there has got away from, I think, Jetro Williams to nod that ball in. He wasn't particularly well marked. It's a disappointing way to go behind. And now obviously the praise kicks in. I've just praised them for going behind. Hopefully we can... I'm going to encourage them. We might need to start going attacking as well. And obviously we should probably make a substitution or two. Now what we can do is bring on Hayden for Matty Longstaff. That might help. I'm probably not going to throw Andy Carroll on, but Pardo struggling a little bit. I'm going to leave him for now. Matt Ritchie could come on for Saint-Maximin, who is struggling as well. And let's see if these changes make any difference in the last 15 minutes. We don't have a great deal of options past the first team. That is one problem for us, but we need to go very attacking now if we can. I don't know if that's actually worked tonight. It doesn't seem like it did. Now we only have 2 minutes left. Time has run out for us, and it is a 1-0 defeat. At least we don't have that silly highlight at the end, which can take several minutes to clear. But we have been beaten. Well beaten, you would say. 63% possession for Burnley, 20 shots. And that is not the best way to start the season. I'm going to tell them they were unlucky, which isn't really true. We did have a few chances, though, early on, but it hasn't worked out. But luckily, we are not bottom of the table. We're actually above Chelsea and Spurs, which is a pretty nice way to start out. So let's jump forward to the Liverpool game. Transfer window already shut, so there won't be a lot more news out of that. I might tweak the tactics a little bit, but let's jump forward and see if we can beat the champions of Europe after failing to beat Burnley. Well, it is time for this Liverpool match now. There are no changes to the team beyond the one in midfield, which is Isaac Hayden coming into the ball-winning midfielder positions ahead of Matty Longstaff, who is dropped to the bench for this game. I don't want to play him week in, week out at this point, especially not against a team like Liverpool. If we are about to be smashed. Sean Longstaff, a little bit older, will be able to take it on the chin if we do get crumpled today. But there's not a lot of difference. No real changes in the tactics. I don't know why that just dropped them back to 3 defensive midfielders. Maybe that's what the tactic really does here. But you can see they've got Henderson and Wijnaldum supporting Lallana. Mane, Firmino and Salah all up top is going to be a challenge, I think. Robertson, Gomez, Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold in defence. And Adrian in goal. Maybe we can exploit an in-game weakness with Adrian. Nobody is going to expect us to get a result today. So let's just kick off. We are playing the right tactic for Liverpool at least. Maybe it was a wrong tactic against Burnley. I do recognise that. But I am terrible with tactics. It is my great fault in Football Manager. It's why I like other people making tactics. I am one of those players. I am not a purist. I like to win, and I'm bad at doing it on my own tactical now. So if you do have suggestions for really good tactics, let me know down in the comments. And early on, Lallana there hitting the crossbar for Liverpool, and that is not a great confidence boost for us very early on here. Already dominating possession, Liverpool. But yeah, if you do have tactics that you've seen that work well or that you've created that work well, do send a link to them down below from the Steam Workshop or from one of the forum websites like FM Scout. Bailly here spreads the ball out wide to Kraft. He has got St. Maxima making a run there. Ball over the top. Not going to find St. Maxima, but it finds Joe Linton. And it's worked. The Adrian in-game weakness has worked. And Joe Linton gives us the lead against the champions of Europe. What a start this is to this game. Inside 20 minutes, Hayden, the switch that I made, found Longstaff, and that first time shot just caught Adrian out as it snuck under his arm and into the bottom corner for 1-0. Brilliant stuff. Kraft now to Pardo. Inside to Hayden. He finds Joe Linton. Maybe about to get tackled. Instead he finds Kraft, and it's given the ball to Mane, and Firmino just allowed in. I don't know what happened there, but he's put it wide. I don't know if that was Bailly switching off there. He does have that low concentration, which I pointed out when we signed him. Hopefully that wasn't what was the problem. Ball forward, Joe Linton down, St. Maximin cleaning up. Holding on to the ball for far too long though, makes a mess. Mane's in behind. He's got support, doesn't use it. And we get a nice reprieve there. That was really selfish from Mane. Corner though, Willem puts it in, comes out to Almiron. What a rocket from Almiron. It's 2-0. Joe Linton and Almiron with the goals, and we are crushing the champions of Europe somehow. Cleared out by Alexander-Arnold, but Almiron, what a left-footed volley that was. Into the top corner. Stunning. If that doesn't win goal of the month, I don't know what will. But we are now 2-0 up against Liverpool. This tactic is working, an absolute treat. Lascelles to Bailly, punts it up the field this time. No risks taken there. Lallana though, into Salah. Alexander-Arnold back to Virgil van Dijk, who's been irrelevant in this game so far. We've completely gone around him. Lallana out to Robertson though. 3-4 in the box for Liverpool. Back to Mane, ball pitched in, and it's gone in. Firmino working with Lallana there to get the ball in from about 6 yards out. Quite unfortunate here. The ball was sent out. Robertson just hung it up, and then Mane dropped to the edge of the box, dinked it in, and it's kind of ricocheted off everybody in there. I think it might have even come off Longstaff before falling to the feet of Firmino. But it does mean that the comeback is on for Liverpool. There are usually quite a few goals in games between Newcastle and Liverpool. More recently, they have been in Liverpool's favour. But I wouldn't be surprised if this one had a few more goals in it. Now, Sean Longstaff, inside to Pardo. We need to see that vision. Instead, he goes out to Willems. Players in the middle for him. He's got quite a few there. Takes to the byline, and he's had a shot. When if he cut that back, it was a nice little run. But he's just lacked the delivery. But we are going into half-time with a 2-1 lead over Liverpool, and it's our best players chipping in the goals, which is what we like to see. Now Dubravka launches the ball forward. Alexander-Arnold forward to Wijnaldum. Arnold again, great crossfield ball that, and he's picked out Mane beautifully. They don't have players in the box though, so he's had to go back to Robertson. Henderson. Wijnaldum lays it off. Lallana. Oh, I really thought that was about to sneak in the bottom corner, but we do survive the restart at least. Throw in though for Liverpool. Still very early in this second half. We have a long way to go if we're going to try and hold on to this 1-goal lead. Lallana to Wijnaldum. Nobody on him. He had the freedom of about 8 yards inside our box there. And Wijnaldum has scored against us, our former player. One of those players who was reasonably good at Newcastle but went away on to much bigger and better things. But Lallana here, I look at that. Why was nobody... I mean, it's not even just picking him up on the edge of the box. Why was nobody trying to cut off that channel? of the edge of the box from the corner into the edge of the box. There was just nobody there. And now Willems hanging onto the ball, goes back to Lascelles, over the top. Joe Linton could get in behind. Adrian clears it and finds the Liverpool player. Alexander-Arnold now coming down the right flank. It's Salah. He sends it over and Henderson there manages to get it. Alexander-Arnold again. They are cutting this open quite comfortably. Their players are just much better than ours. Wijnaldum, ball across to Robertson. He could have a shot there. He steady pulls it into Mane. Back to Henderson. He switches it to Arnold again. Now Salah. They're just poking holes in us. And Lallana there denied, I think, by Eric Bailly. It might have been Lascelles in the central defence area. He had an open goal after hitting the post. And the ball is cleared away. It remains 2-2. We have not had a shot since going 2-0 up. Which is a little bit worrying if we are to concede again. And Bailly here finds Sean Longstaff. It's out to Saint-Maximin. Ball switched beautifully to Almiron. Our front three are so good. Almiron in. Joe Linton is there. It's over the top. And that really was a good opportunity. But he just couldn't quite get his neck and head in the right position. Wijnaldum, Alexander-Arnold, great switch. It's that switch from flank to flank across the box. Henderson, always happy for him to have a shot. Puts it wide of the post. Sean Longstaff now. We might need to start making some changes soon. Puts it into Bailly. It's come to Almiron. And he's onside. It's 3-2 against Liverpool. Another one that has come from absolutely nowhere. I think they were looking for an offside here. Longstaff put it in. Bailly nodded it on. He actually didn't nod it on. It went straight through. And Almiron with the open goal essentially makes it 3-2. Now let's have a look at making a couple of changes here. Let's go for some experience. We'll bring on John Joe Shelvey into central midfield. We'll also bring on Andy Carroll up top. Nice throwback into proper Newcastle here. But a couple of players who will help fight in a situation like this. Firmino there sends it back. It's out wide to Mane. Players in the box for him. Henderson in. And Salah off the post. I thought he'd be offside and he was. He was offside. That shot off the post there. Not working for them. Now we want to go defensive at this point. We really, really want to see this game out if we can. If we can beat Liverpool here. So early on in the season. Alexander-Arnold whips it in. Lascelles away. Mane outside of the post. We still survive here. Let's run down the clock with another change if we can. Maybe bring on Paul Dummett for the man with low concentration, Eric Bailly in central defence. There's not a long way to go here. 5 minutes left. If we survive this chance, then who knows? Virgil van Dijk switches it, but Kraft has won it. Now Saint-Maximin on the ball. Plays it back to Hayden. Kraft looking for a run ahead of him. Hayden instead. Saint-Maximin, Shelvey. Plays it into Sean Longstaff. There are players making runs here. Out to Willems. He holds up the play. Switches the ball. Robertson away. Hayden should get there. He's lost it to Origi, who's got fresh legs and is charging at the defence. But he's taken a shot from 40 yards. And that gives us another survival. There are 5 minutes of added time. Where has that come from? Fabinho forward. Saint-Maximin has it. Back to Shelvey. Ball switched. Almiron can't get there. Milner has cut it off to Wijnaldum. Now James Milner firing down the right. Goes for goal. Dubravka takes it. 5 minutes to go. Come on, lads. Let's get this win. Just 2 minutes left. We're into the final minute. And the clock is surely up. We have done it. We have beaten Liverpool 3-2. Can you believe it? What a start to Football Manager 2020. Joe Linton and a brace for Almiron have given us a win against a full-strength Liverpool team. Adrian, fair enough, in goal. He was a weak link, but boy did we exploit it. That Joe Linton goal early on. And the fact that we were 2-0 up, down to 2-2, and still won the game against Liverpool is unbelievable. What a rush. Absolutely amazing. That was really, really good. A great way to make up for that defeat to Burnley. And you can see Liverpool now a win and a defeat. We are the first team to beat Liverpool in a very long stretch of games if you think about last season. But what a brilliant sign of what we can achieve. Absolutely fantastic that we've managed to do that. Now, do drop a like on the video if you enjoyed the start of this series, and if you enjoyed that win over Liverpool. I'm glad I included that in this video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, but until next time, see ya.